Shalom. Welcome back to the Cepher Daily Readings, Day 9. Genesis, Bere'shiyth, Chapter 30. And when Rachel saw that she bore Yaakov no children, Rachel envied her sister, and said unto Yaakov, Give me children, or else I die. And Yaakov's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, Am I in Elohim's stead, who has withheld from you the fruit of the womb? And she said, Behold my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. And she gave him Bilhah her handmaid to be his woman, and Yaakov went in unto her. And Bilhah conceived and bore Yaakov a son. And Rachel said, Elohim has judged me, and has also heard my voice, and has given me a son. Therefore called she his name Dan. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again, and bore Yaakov a second son. And Rachel said, With great wrestling have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali. When Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took Zilpah her maid, and gave her Yaakov to be his woman. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bore Yaakov a son. And Leah said, A troop comes, and she called his name Gad. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bore Yaakov a second son. And Leah said, Happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest, and found mandrakes in the field, and brought them unto his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, Give me, I pray, of your son's mandrakes. And she said unto her, Is it a small matter that you have taken my man? And why would you take away my son's mandrakes also? And Rachel said, Therefore he shall lie with you tonight for your son's mandrakes. And Yaakov came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him, and said, You must come in unto me, for surely I have hired you with my son's mandrakes. And he lay with her that night, and Elohim hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived and bore Yaakov, the fifth son. And Leah said, Elohim has given me my hire, because I have given my maiden to my man. And she called his name Yishakar. And Leah conceived again, and bore Yaakov the sixth son. And Leah said, Elohim has endued me with a good dowry. Now will my man dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulun. And afterwards she bore a daughter, and called her name Dinah. And Elohim remembered Rachel, and Elohim hearkened to her, and opened her womb. And she conceived, and bore a son, and said, Elohim has taken away my reproach. And she called his name Yosef, and said, Yahuwah shall add to me another son. And it came to pass, when Rachel had borne Yosef, that Yaakov said unto Laban, Send me away, that I may go unto my own place, and my children, for whom I have served you, and let me go. For you know my service which I have done you. And Laban said unto him, I pray you, if I have found favor in your eyes, tarry, for I have learned by experience that Yahuwah has blessed me for your sake. And he said, Appoint me your wages, and I will give it. And he said unto him, You know how I have served you, and how your cattle were with me? For it was little which you had before I came, and it is now increased unto a multitude. And Yahuwah has blessed you since my coming. And now, when shall I provide for my own house also? And he said, What shall I give you? And Yaakov said, You shall not give me anything. If you will do this thing for me, I will again feed and guard your flock. I will pass through all your flock today, removing from thence all the speckled and spotted cattle, and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and of such shall be my hire. So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come, when it shall come for my hire before your face. Everyone that is not speckled and spotted among the goats, and brown among the sheep, which shall be counted stolen with me. And Laban said, Behold, I would it might be according to your word. And he removed that day the he-goats that were ring-straked and spotted, and all the she-goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and gave them into the hand of his sons. And he set 3 days' journey betwixt himself and Yaakov fed the rest of Laban's flocks. And Yaakov took his rods of green poplar, and of the hazel and chestnut tree, and pilled white strakes in them, and made the white appear which was in the rods. And he set the rods which he had pilled before the flocks in the gutters, and the watering troughs when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink. And the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought forth cattle ring-straked, speckled, and spotted. And Yaakov did separate the lambs, and set the faces of the flocks toward the ring-straked, and all of the brown in the flock of Laban. And he put his own flocks by themselves, and put them not unto Laban's cattle. And it came to pass, whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Yaakov laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutters, that they might conceive among the rods. But when the cattle were feeble, he put them not in. So the feebler were Laban's, and the stronger Yaakov's. And the man increased exceedingly, and had many cattle, and maidservants, and menservants, and camels, and asses. Chapter 31. And he heard the words of Laban's sons, saying, Yaakov has taken away all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's has he gotten all this glory. And Yaakov beheld the countenance of Laban, and behold, it was not toward him as before. And Yahuwah said unto Yaakov, Return unto the land of your fathers, and to your kindred, and I will be with you. And Yaakov sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock, and said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that it is not toward me as before. But the Elohim of my father has been with me. And you know that with all my power I have served your father, and your father has deceived me, and changed my wages 10 times. But Elohim suffered him not to hurt me. If he said thus, the speckled shall be your wages, then all the cattle bore speckled. And if he said thus, the ring-straked shall be your hire, then bore all the cattle ring-straked. Thus Elohim has taken away the cattle of your father, and given them to me. And it came to pass at the time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up my eyes, and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped up upon the cattle were ring-straked, speckled, and grizzled. And the angel of Elohim spoke unto me in a dream, saying, Yaakov. And I said, Here I am. And he said, Lift up now your eyes and see. All the rams which leap upon the cattle are ring-straked, speckled, and grizzled. For I have seen all that Laban does unto you. I am the Elohim of Beth-el, where you anointed the pillar, and where you vowed a vow unto me. Now arise, get you out from this land, and return unto the land of your kindred. And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, Is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? Are we not counted of him strangers? For he has sold us, and has also quite devoured our money. For all the riches which Elohim has taken from our father, that is ours, and our children's. Now then, whatsoever Elohim has said unto you, do." Then Yaakov rose up and set his sons and his woman upon camels. And he carried away all his cattle and all his goods which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting, which he had gotten in Padan Aram, for to go to Yitzhak his father in the land of Canaan. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the teraphim that were her father's. And Yaakov stole away unawares to Laban the Aramee, in that he told him not that he fled. So he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river, and set his face toward the Mount Gilead. And it was told Laban on the third day that Yaakov fled, and he took his brethren with him, and pursued him after 7 days' journey, and they overtook him in the Mount Gilead. And Elohim came to Laban the Aramee in a dream by night, and said unto him, "Take heed that you speak not to Yaakov either good or bad." Then Laban overtook Yaakov. Now Yaakov had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the mount of Gilead. And Laban said to Yaakov, "What have you done, that you have stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters, as captives, taken with the sword? Wherefore did you flee away secretly, and steal away from me, and did not tell me, that I might have sent you away with mirth, and with songs, with tabret, and with harp? And have not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters? You have now done foolishly in so doing. It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt. But the Elohim for your father spoke unto me yesternight, saying, Take heed that you speak not to Yaakov either good or bad. And now, though you would needs be gone, because you sore longed after your father's house, yet wherefore have you stolen my Elohim? And Yaakov answered and said to Laban, Because I was afraid, for I said, Perchance you would take by force your daughters from me. With whomsoever you find your Elohim, let him not live, before our brethren discern what is yours with me, and take it to you. For Yaakov knew that Rachel had stolen them. And Laban went into Yaakov's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the 2 maidservants' tents, but he found them not. Then went he out of Leah's tent, and entered into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the teraphim, and put them in the camel's furniture, and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said to her father, Let it not displease my Adonai, that I cannot rise up before you, for the custom of women is upon me. And he searched, but found not the teraphim. And Yaakov was angry, and chided with Laban. And Yaakov answered and said to Laban, What is my transgression? What is my sin, that you have so hotly pursued after me, whereas you have searched all my stuff? What have you found of all your household stuff? Set it here before my brethren and your brethren, that they may judge betwixt us both. These 20 years have I been with you. Your ewes and your she-goats have not cast their young, and the rams of your flock have I not eaten? That which was torn of beasts I brought not unto you. I bore the loss of it. Of my hand did you require it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. Thus I was in the day, the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from my eyes. Thus I have been 20 years in your house. I served you 14 years for your 2 daughters, and 6 years for your cattle, and you have changed my wages 10 times. Except the Elohai of my father, the Elohai of Abraham, and the fear of Yitzhak had been with me, surely you had sent me away now empty. Elohim has seen my affliction and the labor of my hands, and rebuked you yesternight. And Laban answered and said unto Yaakov, These daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and these cattle are my cattle, and all that you see is mine. And what can I do this day unto these my daughters, or unto their children which they have borne? Now therefore come, let us cut a covenant, I and you, and let it be for a witness between me and you. And Yaakov took a stone and set it up for a pillar. And Yaakov said unto his brethren, Gather stones. And they took stones and made a heap, and they did eat there upon the heap. And Laban called it Yagar Sahadutha. But Yaakov called it Galed. And Laban said, This heap is a witness between me and you this day. Therefore was the name of it called Galed. And Mizpah, for he said, Yahuwah, watch between me and you when you are absent one from another. If you shall afflict my daughters, or if you shall take the other women beside my daughters, no man is with us. See, Elohim is witness betwixt me and you. And Laban said to Yaakov, Behold this heap, and behold this pillar, which I have cast betwixt me and you. This heap be witness, and this pillar be witness, that I will not pass over this heap to you, and that you shall not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm. The Eloi of Abraham and the Eloi of Nachor, the Elohai of their father, judge betwixt us. And Yaakov swore 7 oaths by the fear of his father Yitzhak. Then Yaakov offered sacrifice upon the mount, and called his brethren to eat bread. And they did eat bread, and tarried all night in the mount. And early in the morning Laban rose up, and kissed his sons and his daughters, and blessed them. And Laban departed, and returned unto his place. Chapter 32. And Yaakov went on his way, and the angels of Elohim met him. And when Yaakov saw them, he said, This is Elohim's host. And he called the name of that place Machanaim. And Yaakov sent messengers before him to Esau his brother, unto the land of Seir, the country of Edom. And he commanded them, saying, Thus shall you speak unto my Adoni Esau, your servant. Yaakov says thus, I have sojourned with Laban, and stayed there until now. And I have oxen and asses, flocks, and men servants and women servants, and I have sent to tell my Adoni that I may find grace in your sight. And the messengers returned to Yaakov, saying, We came to your brother Esau, and also he comes to meet you, and 400 men with him. Then Yaakov was greatly afraid and distressed, and he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks, and the herds, and the camels, into 2 bands, and said, If Esau come to the one company, and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape. And Yaakov said, O Elohai of my father Abraham, and Elohai of my father Yitzhak, Yahuwah, which said unto me, Return unto your country, and to your kindred, and I will deal well with you. I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies, and of all the truth, which you have showed unto your servant. For with my staff I passed over this Yarden, and now I am become 2 bands. Deliver me, I pray you, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he come and smite me, and the mother with the children. And you said, I will surely do you good, and make your seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. And he lodged there that same night, and took of that which came to his hand a present for Esau his brother, 200 she-goats, and 20 he-goats, 200 ewes, and 20 rams, 30 milk camels with their colts, 40 kine, and 10 bulls, 20 she-asses, and 10 foals. And he delivered them into the hand of his servants, every drove by themselves, and said unto his servants, Pass over before me, and put a space between drove and drove. And he commanded foremost, saying, When Esau my brother meets you, and asks you, saying, Whose are you? And where do you go? And whose are these before you? Then you shall say, They be your servant Jacob's. It is a present sent unto my Adonai Esau, and behold, also he is behind us. And so commanded he the second, and the third, and all that followed the droves, saying, On this manner shall you speak unto Esau when you find him. And say you moreover, Behold, your servant Jacob is behind us. For he said, I will appease him with the present that goes before me, and afterward I will see his face. Perchance he will accept me. So went the present over before him, and himself lodged that night in the company. And he rose up that night, and took his 2 women, and his 2 women servants, and 11 sons, and passed over the ford Jabbok. And he took them, and sent them over the brook, and sent over that he had. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint, and he wrestled with him. And he said, Let me go, for the day breaks. And he said, I will not let you go, except you bless me. And he said unto him, What is your name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, Your name shall be called no more Jacob, but Yasharel. For as a prince have you power with Elohim, and with men, and have prevailed. And Jacob asked him, and said, Tell me, I pray you, your name. And he said, Wherefore is it that you do ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Penuel, for I have seen Elohim face to face, and my life is preserved. And as he passed over Penuel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted up upon his thigh. Therefore the children of Yasharel eat not of the sinew which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh in the sinew that shrank. Chapter 33. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came, and with him 400 men. And he divided the children unto Leah and unto Rachel, and unto the 2 handmaids. And he put the handmaids and their children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph hindermost. And he passed before them, and bowed himself to the ground 7 times, until he came near to his brother. And Esau ran to meet him, and embraced him, and fell on his neck, and kissed him, and they wept. And he lifted up his eyes, and saw the women and the children, and said, Who are those with you? And he said, The children which Elohim has graciously given your servant. Then the handmaidens came near, they and their children, and they bowed themselves. And Leah also with her children came near, and bowed themselves. And after came Joseph near, and Rachel, and they bowed themselves. And he said, What do you mean by all this drove which I met? And he said, These are to find grace in the sight of my Adonai. And Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Keep that you have unto yourself. And Jacob said, Nay, I pray you, if now I have found grace in your sight, then receive my present at my hand. For therefore I have seen your face, as though I had seen the face of Elohim, and you were pleased with me. Take, I pray you, my blessing that is brought to you, because Elohim has dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough. And he urged him, and he took it. And he said, Let us take our journey, and let us go, and I will go before you. And he said unto him, My Adonai knows that the children are tender, and the flocks and herds with young are with me, and if men should overdrive them one day, all the flock will die. Let my Adonai, I pray you, pass over before his servant, and I will lead on softly, according as the cattle that goes before me, and the children be able to endure, until I come unto my El Adonai, unto Seir. And Esau said, Let me now leave with you some of the folk that are with me. And he said, What needs it? Let me find grace in the sight of my Adonai. So Esau returned that day on his way unto Seir. And Yaakov journeyed to Sukkot, and built him a house, and made Sukkot for his cattle. Therefore the name of the place is called Sukkot. And Yaakov came to Shalem, a city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, when he came from Padam Aram, and pitched his tent before the city. And he bought a parcel of a field where he had spread his tent, at the hand of the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. And he erected there an altar and called it El Eloi Yasharel. It's the end of chapter 33. Psalms. Tehilliym, chapter 9. To the chief musician upon Muthlaben, a mizmor of David. I will praise you, O Yahuwah, with my whole heart. I will show forth all your marvelous works. I will be glad and rejoice in you. I will sing praise to your name, O Elion. When my enemies are turned back, they shall fall and perish at your presence. For you have maintained my right and my cause. You sat in the throne judging right. You have rebuked the heathen. You have destroyed the wicked. You have put out their name forever and ever. O enemy, destructions have come to a perpetual end, and you have destroyed cities. Their memorial is perished with them. But Yahuwah shall endure forever. He has prepared his throne for judgment, and he shall judge the world in righteousness. He shall minister judgment to the people in uprightness. Yahuwah also will be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. And they know your name. And they that know your name will put their trust in you, for you, Yahuwah, have not forsaken them that seek you. Sing praises to Yahuwah, which dwells in Zion. Declare among the people his doings, when he makes inquisition for blood. He remembers them. He forgets not the cry of the humble. Have mercy upon me, O Yahuwah. Consider my trouble, which I suffer of them that hate me. You that lift me up from the gates of death, that I may show forth all your praise in the gates of the daughter of Zion. I will rejoice in your deliverance. The heathen are sunk down in the pit that they made. In the net which they hid is their own foot taken. Yahuwah is known by the judgment which he executes. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Higayon, Selah. The wicked shall be turned into Sheol, and all the nations that forget Elohim. For the needy shall not always be forgotten. The expectation of the poor shall not perish. Arise, O Yahuwah, let not man prevail. Let the heathen be judged in your sight. Put them in fear, O Yahuwah, that the nations may know themselves to be but men. Selah. Hallelujah. All praise to the Most High Yah. In the name of the Son, Yahweh Shai, Yahusha HaMashiach, and the Holy Spirit. the Ruach HaKodesh. I pray this finds you blessing, and continue to follow the word of the Most High Yah. Read the word, understand him. Pray for understanding. Pray to be filled with the Holy Spirit and discernment. Follow the way of the only begotten Son, Yahushua HaMashiach. All praise to the Most High. Shalom.